Okay, I want you to do one thing before I begin my sermon. Two names you're going to have to remember. Balak. Remember, say the word, Balak. It's kind of a rough name, Balak. He's the bad king of Moab, okay? Now, Balaam. He is the sorcerer, okay? I think you have all the information you need, and I'm very happy that I addressed you this evening. It was a wonderful sermon that I gave. This service is unbelievable. Last week, I was in Tanglewood. Never been to the Berkshires before. Music like this you can't find anywhere else, at any synagogue, at any time. Okay, it wasn't the Boston Symphony tonight, but it was close. My colleague, Rabbi Yedwab, a few weeks ago, in his sermon indicated that he had spoken several times about the Torah portion that was read that week. He then shared a few of the old and his latest interpretation. I know that during my 53 years at Temple Israel, I have delivered numerous interpretations of this week's Torah portion. You have an advantage. I don't remember any of them. It's an interesting Torah story. Picture this. The children of Israel are in the Sinai desert and have had victories over several kingdoms. Balak, the king of Moab, sends messengers to the sorcerer. What's his name? Oh, you're brilliant. There is a people that came out of Egypt. Come and put a curse on them, thus I can defeat them. I know that he whom you bless is blessed indeed, and he whom you curse is cursed. The beginning of the story is pretty understandable. Find a credentialed sorcerer and hire him. Now it becomes interesting. God comes to Balaam and asks him, what do the messengers of the king really want? God tells him that you must not curse that people, our people. They are blessed. He tells this to the messengers of the king, and they depart. The next set, soon, of dignitaries arrive. We will give you riches. Only damn this people. God comes to him again. Accept the deal, but do what I will tell you. Balaam saddles his donkey and departs with the dignitaries. The donkey, right over there, sees an angel with a drawn sword. He refuses to move. No matter how hard he's being beaten, no matter how hard his owner is forcing him, that donkey sees something that no one else sees. In the final act, in this very shortened telling, the donkey is speaking. Balaam now sees the angel in front of him. He goes on to meet Balak the king. There is much drama and long orations. Balaam does not damn, rather he blesses the children of Israel. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. How fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. The story, which is a full chapter in the Torah, is relatively easy to understand. A talking donkey saves his owner from the sword of an angel. The children of Israel, our family, continue to live. I could spend the limited time I have with numerous interpretations, for this story is clearly meant to teach significant lessons. In the final act, the donkey in this shortened telling is speaking. Can you imagine Kids, have you ever seen a donkey talk? Can you imagine it's talking donkey? You should not have to buy a curse against Am Yisrael, because our people have staying power granted by God. So that's taking us well into the past. It's a great biblical story. But now, I would like you to join me on a journey into the future. Let us imagine for a moment our great-great-grandchildren and beyond reading about our time. In these archives, perhaps they might read about a rabbi named Harold, who just returned from a birthday celebration for his friend Harold, 95 years young. Harold the Older's mind was clear and creative. He started sculpting in his 80s, big pieces he's created. He started writing poetry in his 90s. Harold the Elder established a philanthropy, PJ Library, that gave out free by 2024 60 million books to Jewish families written in 9 languages sent around the world. Books that I hope every one of these parents who named a child this evening will receive for free. Bedtime, PJ, pajamas. Read stories to your kids that will inspire them as they try to go to sleep and understand our people. Isn't it remarkable that years in the future, they will still be talking about someone who donated his entire fortune to increase Jewish literacy? Sadly, I tell you, in the future archives of the past, they will discover that killing was common in our time, in schools, in churches, synagogues, and mosques, on the street as people walked from place to place. In their time, these archives are hidden from the young people, only to be read by those who were mature enough to deal with atrocity. There's a special section in these archives where the stories only allowed to be read by scholars, war after war after war. In the Jewish section, the history of the Holocaust, a moment like nothing before, never to be compared to anything. God willing, we'll never see anything in the history books unfolding that compares to that moment when 6 million of our people and many others, because they were different, because they wouldn't bow down, were taken and gassed. In the Jewish section, volumes like this. These historians will write about the moment in 2023 when terrorists entered the land of Israel, the place that Moses was leading the children of Israel. Our history goes back a long, long way. When Balaam, the sorcerer, but guided by God, decided against the curse. On October 7th, not unlike other terrorist atrocities, babies and children, mothers and fathers, grandparents killed and burned. The scholars reference here the Holocaust. Hostages taken, used by terrorists to be traded in their once again murderous scheme. The same Rabbi Loss. I've never done this before. That is a strange name for a rabbi. They write, having been to Israel 2 times on support missions, went again on July 24th, leaving this coming Wednesday to be with your and mine extended Jewish family, to see what they are trying to do in a world so confusing, so impossible to put together. In my imagining of this future world, reporting back that the hostages were released to go home to their loving families, and that this latest terrorist tragedy led in the direction of peace. I wish, really, I had a donkey and a sorcerer who could speak to me about the future. My focus tonight has been on the children of Israel, and this was the intention of the cursing, blessing sorcerer. In the future, they will read about our past, our international past, wars, famine, hatred on this planet, people unable to communicate with words, instead often horribly resorting to the use of bullets. If I could only travel into the future and discover archives that comfort me. Comfort me to know that peace and prosperity and kindness do in fact arrive. Being an optimist, and you know this about me, I pray that this is so for the sake of our children, the little ones named tonight, our children's children yet unborn. The archives, the focus of our time, should be on the amazing scientific miracles we've all experienced, moments when peace seemed to be possible, children not starving, and greater international cooperation. Unlike generations before them who were unable to escape the need to possess and the need to conquer others, to control others, to be in charge, I pray we will discover the Messianic age, and it will come not through a magical moment, it will come because of our hard work. This is our challenge. This is our responsibility, because our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren deserve better from us than they will be receiving today. I often find myself wishing that I, like Balaam, had God whispering in my ear, telling me what to do. Unfortunately, God does not have my ear or my mobile phone number. We are left now with hard decisions. We cannot travel into the future. What we must do is come together with love and support for each other. God has left the creation of a better future in your hands and in my hands. May it be the will of God, who spoke to Moses in the desert and Balaam for the sake of future generations, that we work hard to create a bridge of kindness, love, and respect. For we are walking on a narrow bridge together into the future. Shabbat Shalom.